But now we get to see if my prediction was right as we go into the picks and bans and see what Elevate choose to deal with this time. They will still be first pick. And the question is, which one is it going to come up? It's still going to be the Odin first, but I am slowly but surely anticipating either they will ban it or pick the Chulainn.
It's going to be Scotty taking his way as well from Astral Authority, not looking to have to deal with that against Elevate, and for good reason. You want to have your Hunter in a boxing matchup that he can actually contest with, and probably not going to be able to find that when the enemy team's able to run that Scotty. Opting
right back into the Chronos for that second ban, and Soul going to be out for Astral Authority. I don't think she was banned in that position before, but she was still banned in the last match. And we're going to see Artio make it through and picked up immediately. I see no reason for Astral Authority to not pick Chulainn here.
Artio has actually had an incredibly difficult time so far with as far as like gathering actual wins is concerned, although the God CC, or crowd control, excuse me, can provide a ton as far as team fighting presence is concerned. I think a lot of teams have just been struggling with the aspect of falling behind as a whole, really making it difficult for Artio to shine, but that's not going to be the case here for Astral Authority. Early game seems to be their state of mind with that Chulainn and Zeus.
Yeah, so far one of these things is not like the other. Zeus being locked in, haven't seen him in a while, but he brought in the Nox last game, so Coviiii potentially looking to bring that into the mid lane. If Transonics is really feeling himself, he's going to be going back to like 2012 and trying to play some ADC Zeus, but I just don't see that one happening. Speaking of feeling themselves, it looks like Brochacho wants to bring out the Ares.
This is actually an old favorite of Brochacho's, and Ares is a god that we haven't seen him on in quite some time, but certainly a god that I'd be very scared of to watch him pilot, especially considering that 3 members of Elevate rely so heavily upon not being crippled themselves.
And recognizing things are a little bit precarious for them, we see the Awilish come out, but the Kernanos and the Geb, big ones for Astral Authority. They have a lot of CC, so they don't want you to be able to take that away. Geb is a big one for that. And we see the Susano ban coming through, which is a little bit weird for Elevate, but I guess it's just one of those, we don't want it and we don't want you to have it.
I didn't get a chance to say it. I was waiting for the Batz to come through, because if there's one thing that I almost always anticipate to follow up after an Ares, it's going to be another god that can force out actives such as Purification Beads. Batz is perfect for that. A lot of team fighting presence already from Astral Authority between the knockup that's going to be coming from Chulainn, Batz's AoE, the Fear No Evil, Ares ultimate, Zeus ultimate. Astral Authority really likes their circles.
Yeah, at this point, just going for the slam combo. If Ares gets anyone, I don't think they're going to be able to walk out of that one alive. On the other side, we see Sylvanus, who's been kind of making his way back in. The big one I see is going to be Artemis, which isn't necessarily out there. It's not like this really strange pick coming out of nowhere, but it's definitely one that is a little bit less safe, especially after you see the lineup Astral Authority has.
Artemis can be a little bit more risky, especially considering that Transonics is going to finish everything off with that Hu-Yi. The biggest concern here for the Artemis is going to be escaping those suns whenever Transonics tries to go in. I'd imagine him to play this laning phase pretty aggressive, although at the same time, Transonics not having a CC immune ultimate could potentially turn the tides in Cameron's favor if he's able to catch him out with the boar.
Already up 1-0 in the set. Astral Authority looking to make this one clean if they can continue it. Mythic looking to have a nice run back on this Janus. He had a lot of potential. I saw a lot of damage coming out from him. He did a lot for his team. There were just a few uncertain circumstances that kind of came out in favor of Astral.
Janus is one of those gods who, at a competitive level, I think needs to rely pretty heavily around their team. And so if you don't have a team that can either follow up or find little picks so you can disengage or even pressure the objectives out, Janus can have some struggles. And for Elevate, the case was just the entirety of their team fell behind. There wasn't really anybody to help Mythic out as far as early game or mid game presence was concerned.
What I really like is Brochacho. Not only can he beat up this Artemis with those chains, but Janus will not be able to walk through those walls as easily anymore if Brochacho is on point. And after last game, I'm sure he's feeling himself here, so I don't expect him to be a little bit off. But Nexamiss not going to be missing too much in this lane, except all of the experience that's going to be marching down it. And now sent back to base. At this point, DoctorL very low. Wolves still doing Wolves things. Going to be chasing him down. He's only level 1, but he wants to fight.
He's got the backup of his boys, though. Mythic and Visions making that rotation. Coming up huge, actually, for DoctorL. Otherwise, I'm certain he would have lost that speed buff. Now, Wolves and KhaoticPurpose forced back into the lane to try and secure level 2 off the wave. And they will do so, and they also still have their buffs to farm out themselves.
I think the only thing more worrisome for Nexamiss than knowing last game that we saw Wolves get aggressive is being able to see what Wolves did last game and know that he's running it back much faster this time on the Chulainn. hopefully not going to go get too far ahead of himself. Some things that players do occasionally end up doing is if you play the same god twice in a row, the beginning of the next game, you forget, I'm not as strong as I once was, so you go a little bit too ham and end up paying for it, but it seems like Wolves keeping that under control.
As long as Wolves can keep his early aggression in check and never really overextend, that's the important part. You don't want to over-aggress, but speaking of aggression, Transonics already pushing Cameron back to his tower line, trying to remind him that Coviii's probably got the advantage in this dual lane.
And going to be able to kind of box him out throughout this. He is going to be a level behind right now, or just maybe half a wave at this point going forward for it, but still going to have overall an advantage. Artemis can have a huge tide-turning ultimate if played properly. Cameron was in that position last game, but things just never really worked out for his team. Nexamiss coming back to the lane, getting a nice welcome back from Wolves, was just going to be, hey, you're at half health already.
Really liking the itemization choice from Transonics, though, at the start of this game. Last game on the Jingwei, we saw him building off into those Devourer gauntlets first, but this time around, he'd rather prioritize the boots and this beam because he wants to have as much mobility as possible to really shut Cameron out of the phase or the laning phase early on.
Especially because Artemis, the only real getaway she has is to be able to move a little bit faster and run away from you. So being able to lock that down, and with potentially stuns coming out from Transonics as long as he hits his shots, things are going to go their way as KhaoticPurpose taking a little bit of poke, but it doesn't seem like he's too worried about it because at this point, they're still coming off of the high and the gold early on that he has that first blood kill on his belt. And while Nexamiss is getting a lot of damage in the back, it doesn't look like Wolves is going to fall back anytime soon.
Wolves is so low on health, and yet Nexamiss and DoctorL don't even want to try, and that's the reason why KhaoticPurpose is already hitting level 5. Wolves is 5 as well, actually thinking about maybe engaging, but thinking better of it, knowing that that Janus ultimate is coming through, probably called out by his own team in the mid lane.
And over on the left-hand side, soloed is going to be Cameron. Transonics takes that one ahead and brings the lane into his control. And getting that through space and time off the map, it looks like the rest of Astral has decided to make the call for the Gold Fury, and there's no reason not to, although they don't seem to have the damage and the health for it just yet. Brochacho not quite level 5, and while it's a smart call, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, it's still a little too early for it.
Transonics, after recognizing that the Janus ult was headed towards the solo lane, immediately knew that he had the opportunity to dive Cameron as long as he was on point with his abilities and auto attacks, and clearly he was. Purification beads even being forced out from both of these hunters, just so happens that Transonics found the better end of the trade.
So Coviiii pulling out the Zeus, looks like he's going to be going into the Warlock Sash to potentially be stacking up there, which we've seen him go through the Book of Thoth, we've seen a Doom Orb today. Do you think this is the good stacking item for a Zeus in the mid lane?
For a Zeus, he could probably get away with the Warlock Sash right now, considering that his team has pretty solid map control. Zeus is going to be able to clear very efficiently, and one of the main concerns for a Zeus is getting thunked on by that Thor. So if DoctorL were to try and commit, wow, speaking of which, DoctorL actually now looking to try and commit onto KhaoticPurpose, but the ultimate coming through from Brochacho, stealing a whole lot of damage. It's actually going to be Nexamiss taking out the young jungler, but Wolves immediately returning the favor.
Now Nexamiss is going to be taking a lot of poke. Wolves, even though he's low, doesn't seem to care. There comes the hog, but it's not going to be able to get a lot. Coviiii going to be able to drop his ult, get some damage down. The detonate coming through, maybe a little bit early, but Nexamiss one hit away, and Wolves going to be able to grab that one. He's low, and he's still fighting, not too scared through space and time coming down the lane. Vision's going to try to run, but Brochacho going to be able to get the kill right there, and one more hit, one ricochet is all it would really need, but Transonics not quite ready to full commit to that one. Going to go ahead, back off, heal up from the mid camps, and his team can fall back, but Coviiii potentially at risk from Mythic chasing him down.
Coviiii, he really wants to get away here. Tried to go in between the unstable vortex. Would have been a sly move had he gotten away with it, but unfortunately enough, Mythic was more than prepared, angled that just a little bit better to ensure that Coviiii ate that one straight to the face.
Much easier in Days of Yore. Janus first comes out a little bit wider, you have a little bit more room in there to work with, but now Coviiii feeling the pain of the shotgun to the face. Mythic going to be able to find himself a kill, and actually opting away. He's not going to be stacking this game at all. He did go for the cooldown boots, though.
Cooldown boots, it makes sense because he wants to try and launch off as many portals as possible. He'll be able to secure his farm around the map. Janus, being one of the more mobile mid laners, can afford to go to those back carpets pretty often. Speaking of which, Wolves actually getting really frisky underneath that T1 tower.
and trying to fight up as much as he can. You might be 2-0-3, but you're still vulnerable to death. But DoctorL is going to be the one who looks to fall right now. He's going to get the stun. Wolves almost going in and taking the tower. Takes one shot for his trouble, but he's going to be able to retreat right there up into the sky. Does go DoctorL, and down he comes crashing, but it gets turned on him immediately. KhaoticPurpose with the kill.
No
Wolves
way.
still alive. Nexamiss running, but he's going to get taken down. One more auto is all he needs. KhaoticPurpose is going to be able to find that with the overhand smash. Wolves still alive, dodging through space and time as well. And he's going to be able to make it back to base, no problem. Now 2-0-5.
That is worst case scenario. No questions asked for Elevate. Probably one of the more frustrating things to have experienced. Transonics, again, thinking about maybe diving Cameron underneath this T1 tower, but having already expended his ultimate, he doesn't really have much else that he can give. Cameron's going to be able to get away with that one.
And being able to walk through. At this point, Wolves might start feeling himself a little bit too much. He's almost thinking he's immortal, and being able to make it through that one might push him over the edge, but at this point, he's been able to live through it. He's getting enough items online that he's starting to get where he needs to be tanky enough. And just like last game, he's still topping the top of the player charts.
And that was just actually disgusting how he managed to survive with the sliver of HP, baited out Elevate to keep aggressing, pops the shell, escapes from the Sylvanus ultimate, and then just all around. Also, shout-outs to KhaoticPurpose with the clean follow-ups.
And being able to kind of help keep that zone. KhaoticPurpose, had he not been there, that was an easy kill on 2 Wolves. Being there, using the Fear No Evil, and just throwing out the damage he was able to, helping to turn that one around in favor of Astral. At about 8 minutes in, they have 8 kills total, and they are slowly but surely grinding their lead up. About 2,000 gold. It's small, especially for this early on, but Elevate are starting to feel the same burn that they had at the end of the last game.
Where it's really going to come down to is the experience differences yet again. Nexamiss falling 2 levels behind Wolves in the solo lane already. And Wolves, he's been impactful game 1. I can imagine the same kind of run back on this Chulainn game number 2 with the way that things are already looking.
Already under the tower, up into the sky, does go DoctorL, looking to come crashing down. Has potential for a 2-man stun, but it seems like he's going to wait on it. Not going to be able to find both, but he does find KhaoticPurpose. The ult coming out from Wolves is a good bait as he does teleport on out of there. They're going to be able to walk away with that, but at the same time, they still have the aggression. Astral has rotated over. Brochacho is there. Coviiii, left by his lonesome, though, is going to be coming through. A lot of ults spent just to kill the one Zeus, who doesn't have a ton of getaway.
Hey, Coviiii. Bye, Coviiii. That's kind of just what I saw happening right there for Astral Authority. Elevate now with the slight advantage, maybe looking to pressure out this Gold Fury. They do have the heals coming through from Visions, but even after splitting those oracles with Transonics, doesn't seem as though they're interested in keeping the aggression going.
Cameron looking to try and get the best of this boxing match. He knows he got soloed early on, but he doesn't seem too fearful just now, even though his ult is down, potentially for the Suns to come down if Transonics really wants to go for the fight. And he's hanging out over here. He's still looking, peeking around the corner. He's standing right on top of a ward, so Cameron knows where he is. But when it comes down to it, the rest of the team also knows where he is. DoctorL, Vision's going to be coming down, going to be trying to get him. They're going to lock him down. The Suns are dropped. He gets the kill onto Cameron. They trade it out 1 for 1, ADC for ADC. But Brochacho is here, and he's going to be able to put some damage down onto DoctorL with those chains.
Cameron just not able to make it through that corridor fast enough, meaning that he gets caught up in the triple bounce from Transonics. That's exactly why we saw his health bar completely die. Cameron can now join the Skeleton Data Remember recovery group for triple bounces that cause death.
It feels bad. That recovery group's growing pretty fast, too, at this rate. The way things are going and the way these players have learned to ricochet in the jungle, it's starting to hurt a lot. And Cameron, he's going to be upset. He's going to be coming into it, but he's still Artemis. He's still looking for his crit, hopefully, towards the end of this one as he continues going on. But now, kind of up there, still not beating Chulainn in the damage charts, but Coviiii making his way up there.
It's kind of just what you anticipate. Great cover by Brochacho. Not to mention he gets a little bit of farm there. And now KhaoticPurpose actually dropping the ultimate onto Nexamiss, really looking to go in here with a kill. Barb Spear being applied to Nexamiss to deter some of that sustain and healing, but right now, with 3 members of Elevate being present for this speed buff, make that 4. Astral Authority are just going to back off.
I feel like KhaoticPurpose might have something wrong with Nexamiss. Like, he just doesn't like him as a player. He comes over all the time. I've seen exclusive ganks over here. And again, the goal might just be to get Wolves back to where he was last game, to the point where, hey, I'm going to go ahead and dive your Titan, guys. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And at this point, they're still stealing buffs. They're still keeping control. And even though they recognize, hey, Fear No Evil's down, we can maybe fight. They just don't want to go into it on the side of Elevate.
I think the main reason why we see KhaoticPurpose hanging around with Wolves so often is because if you can get Wolves ahead and have him hold that thought, though, Transonics using the Purification Beads, waiting out Cameron's Purification Beads, making sure that he can land that stun. Now with the slow being applied, Cameron's got nowhere to go. He's right on top of the range, and Transonics, he's going to have his one up here real soon. Cameron doing what he can to buy time, but it won't be enough. Getting soloed yet again.
And Brochacho going to be pulling 3 in. Nexamiss going to be low on mana. Coviiii coming over, going to be able to get the Zeus ult and allow a lot of zoning from his team. Sprint is popped as Brochacho wants to keep chasing. They want the kill on Nexamiss, but they're not able to find it. But shout-outs to Cameron and Transonics playing Ring Around the Rosie for a little bit there.
That's what always tends to happen. One of the downfalls of Artemis is that lack of mobility, and it's working pretty heavily against Cameron right now as Astral Authority trying to get cheeky on that Portal Demon, although the vision is in favor of Elevate, kind of just sensing that that one was happening.
A ton of wards on the board for them. Transonics looking to just get those Oracle Harpies, give himself a little bit of vision. Gonna get split as DoctorL just walks up and takes one. The rest of the team is rotated over. Coviiii doesn't have a lot of mana with Brochacho there and Transonics. Potential for a Gold Fury, but it looks like we're going to see Transonics be busy chasing, so he can't help his team. The rest of them are going to back, and now he is alone in the jungle with 3 around him. Going to take a double tap to the face, the Berserker's Barrage, jump over the wall, pull just off the mark, and no one's going to be able to follow him up now.
But the problem here is that Transonics is level 13. The main reason why he chased after DoctorL so deep is because DoctorL is only level 9. Even the slightest amount of in-hand damage would probably crush DoctorL's health bar.
And at this point, not a lot he can do in terms of trying to rectify that. Every time he gets caught out, every time he tries to fight, things go downhill. But Elevate starting this up. They know there is no vision here because they have the superior vision and they split those Oracle Harpies. They're going to be able to take a clean Gold Fury and be able to kind of help even up this game, no problem.
And that was just one of the benefits of forcing Transonics to back. Astral Authority getting a little overconfident there, I would say. Transonics has got to be careful to not be forced out too often. Otherwise, the objectives are going to start leaning more in favor. And Cameron actually getting a decent bit of damage against Transonics now. Transonics looking for the ult, able to jump out the board entirely, however.
The Portal Demon was started up over there on the right-hand side by Astral in response to that Gold Fury. And it looks like they were able to get it, even though Mythic threw out that through space and time, hoping to try and take that one away. Ultimately, not going to be able to repeat that from last game. The way things are standing, gold-wise, not too far behind. We saw just a second ago, though, experience-wise, and if you just look at the numbers on the bottom, it's starting to hurt for Elevate, mainly when you look at the solo and the jungle, a lot in favor of Astral.
And that's probably the primary issue here for Elevate, is that their solo and jungler are so far behind because those are two pretty huge key components whenever you're trying to get these team fights going. Meanwhile, Elevate trying to take what advantages they can, looking to force out this T1 tower. It's going to be Transonics being the lone defender, and he's just going to get ulted down. But staying alive for the moment, actually landing right back on top of the entirety of Elevate. Now it's KhaoticPurpose here to pick up the pieces, and he'll find 2.
He's going to be able to at least take them out now, and with KhaoticPurpose, the rest of Astral rotating around. Visions looking to get collapsed on as Brochacho goes down the bottom with Coviiii there, looking to kind of cut off his pathing as best they can. But the chain's not going to connect. The heal's going to be good. The ult is going to come out specifically to get him, and just mistiming his own ult. Visions not going to have the CC immunity for a long enough period. Ends up getting pulled, ends up falling. That's going to be 3 more kills on the side of Astral.
Raid boss Wolves has made his rotation. It's going to be the T1 tower as the next target for Astral Authority, and absolutely no contest. Cameron doesn't want to step up anywhere near Astral Authority here. And sure enough, well, he's actually going to stop the back for Wolves. I don't know if he wanted to poke that bear, though, and immediately trying to use that, too, to get away.
Wolves is probably, out of the 3 that you could stop, the one you didn't want to box, just because he is the one who will continue to fight you. It's not going to be, hey, I stopped your back, haha, I'm a little annoying. It's going to, you stopped my back? What? I'm going to come for you now. But he's going to fall back at this point. He's not going to get that aggressive just yet, because he's still a little bit behind where he wants to be. I mean, 4-1 and 5. He's feeling himself still, but he's just not quite at that point where he's going to be 20 minutes last game, Wolves.
And already, Brochacho again looking to get the pressure off onto DoctorL. Mythic has made his way back to the mid lane, though, and Cameron looks like Elevate are trying to make this grouping happen. See if maybe they could take away a T1 tower in the mid lane themselves.
Looking at Coviiii, Unfortunately for him, he's looking like kind of, right now, the weak link. I mean, he's playing Zeus, so it's kind of expected that he's not going to be exactly where he wants to be. He only has 3 items online, no real kills to his name, and only part of 3 of them overall. And kind of getting picked on, as we see right now. We see DoctorL come down, but it's going to be a pain for DoctorL as it gets turned around. We see the Fear No Evil get traded out for that one. Mythic going right into the lap of Wolves. He's looking to run away, and he ultimately will be able to, but Wolves definitely approaching that point where he's going to dive your tier 2. He does not worry. He is going in to fight, and he is going to get that damage down. Fighting DoctorL, looking for the kill, going to be able to find it with that 3-level advantage over the enemy jungler.
And already on the backside, Nexamiss was the only member from Elevate trying to defend that T1 tower. He will lose his life for it, and same can be said for DoctorL, except DoctorL died in between his T2 and Phoenix. Wolves had 4 members of Elevate surrounding him, and none of them could even come close to taking him down.
Now we're going to see tier 2 pressured down in mid. Elevate left without any towers there. 2 only remaining, 1 on the left, 1 on the right. And both of them don't really look like they will last that long if Astral continue this reign of terror all across the map. But they do split up. They go to kind of confirm whatever they can off the map. Again, at this point, when you have the lead, the main goal is just take away whatever Elevate can do to get back into this game.
Just look at Brochacho backing right in front of the red buff from Elevate. Not a care in the world. It just goes to show how much control Astral Authority has managed to gather for themselves yet again on the map. Map control is just entirely in their favor. There's really nowhere Elevate can go that Astral isn't aware of.
At this point, Wolves starting to get a little out of hand the way he was last game. He has 5 levels over Nexamiss. And as we just saw, he doesn't mind diving in tier 2 and potentially going for the Phoenix if need be as he gets aggressive. And that's kind of what spelled a little bit of the end for Elevate, was Wolves just keeping them in control and keeping them distracted all the time over here on the right-hand lane. Even though last game we saw what CaMeRxNii is doing now, the split push to try and get some of those towers, they just weren't able to get that part of the map back.
Transonics just a little bit off the mark with that ricochet, but he just got baited in by CaMeRxNii, actually. There's going to be 3 members from Elevate trying to take out the young hunter from Astral Authority, and they will be successful. CaMeRxNii finally getting a little bit of revenge, even if it came at the assistance of 2 other teammates.
Now the rest of the team going to be going forward. CaMeRxNii actually going through a portal. Brochacho just off the mark with those chains, and 1 more portal going to be keeping CaMeRxNii safe. If you don't have the mobility, give your team the mobility. And Mythic going to be able to help out that Artemis getting away there.
Always great whenever your mid laner shows proficient map awareness. And that's something that Mythic has done an excellent job of in both of these games, realistically, on that Janus. Just constantly trying to portal his teammates out of danger, even though it might not always be successful just because of how much damage Astral Authority is outputting. It's the thought that counts.
At this point, they're looking at CaMeRxNii and honestly trying to get DoctorL farmed back up. He's still level 13, but with Coviiii and Wolves coming over here, they're looking to try and put him down. Even going through the wall, Brochacho's waiting in the jungle with the rest of the team, but here comes the Fear No Evil on the Gold Fury, gonna go the way of Elevate. No, actually onto Astral Authority there as they pick that one up, steal it away right out under the nose from Elevate, and they're gonna continue their aggression. The ult drop down from Coviiii to get that extra damage. DoctorL trying to teleport and get away here. KhaoticPurpose going to get a nice passive crit to be able to take down CaMeRxNii. While they weren't able to find the kills, they get the Gold Fury and the ADC, and at this point they're feeling happy.
They might even be able to pick up this Gold Fury afterwards, and Coviii's got to be feeling pretty good about things right now. At the start of this match, we saw him fall a couple of times, and he's really just been the sacrificial lamb, I'd say, in both of these matches. Elevate just dropping 2-3 ults every single time, and I mean, this is a perfectly fair game. Fire Giant, there's really nobody around from Elevate to try and contest. Brochacho trying to go on a roller coaster ride, though, from that Fire Giant knockup, and they will be able to slay the Fire Giant, get that nice FG buff running around them, and back into base just to buy up some more items.
That almost looked like he was just getting knocked up on purpose. Like he was just having fun with it. He knew he wasn't going to die ultimately, but towards the end of it, now 5 members with Fire Giant. Brochacho, not exactly the impact I thought he was going to have. I thought he was going to be way more aggressive on this Ares, but still having a decent impact. I mean, at 1-0-5, you know you are still hurting away on Elevate.
The problem is that Brochacho doesn't have to play super aggressive on the Ares. He didn't even opt for the blank. What's been happening is you've got the initiation from KhaoticPurpose on this Batz. He's just been going in with that blank, dropping the Fear No Evil, burning out actives, and it makes things all too easy for Brochacho to slowly walk up to them or even sprint up to them for that engage and just either ult everybody in the vicinity or just drop some chains, and the cripple is still more than enough to help Astral Authority clean up those kills.
Elevate losing their right-hand tier 2 now. The only one left standing is going to be the one they have in the duo lane. Up into the sky is going to go DoctorL, down, crashing onto Transonics, looking for the kill. The Aegis, the bead's going to come out. He's going to jump over the wall, patiently waiting, though. The tap going to come through with the stun. Transonics is getting low, but he looks to be safe. The rest of his team is around, and now Cameron going to find himself up against the wall, stuck between that and the monkey, and KhaoticPurpose going to be able to confirm that kill, no problem. And now Wolves looking to lead the way with Brochacho to just find these kills. Nexamiss, unfortunately, going to be the primary target of this aggression. They're going to be chasing him down. One more hit, all it takes. Coviiii going to find his first kill of the game with that one, and now they're going to be aggressing down forward past the tier 2. They don't even care about getting the tower. They're going to go in. They're going to get 4 kills. They are going to be aggressing down this mid lane to find this Phoenix and try to find the win here as they go forward. And Astral putting themselves in position to find a 2-0.
Visions is the only member left remaining for Elevate, and as a Sylvanus with no ultimate, there's probably not a very good chance for him to be able to hold off Astral Authority much longer. Thankfully enough for him, though, he won't have to worry about that because Astral rather play it safe over being sorry, looking to take away that T2 tower that was left standing in the left-hand lane, making that Titan just as weak as possible, and now looking to put their siege onto the left-hand Phoenix.
10-1-5 right now. The unsung hero, the Batz coming through. Phoenix on the left-hand side, going to fall down as Nexamiss going in, trying to find whatever he can to help his team. The Fear No Evil going to be good, though. Nexamiss going to be the first one going down. DoctorL landed in the Fear No Evil and is going to get CC'd because of it. Now he's going to be taken down. KhaoticPurpose gets the credit for that one, and into the fountain they go, but only one lives. Nexamiss 1v5 doing his best, but the Titans, the target, Astral Authority, opening it up 25-7. Almost over a 15k gold lead. At this point, they're going to be able to continue this aggression while Nexamiss is trying. It's going to be the deicide, and it's going to be the win.
Wolves tanking up this Titan, actually still not able to go down quite yet, and just all around very strong showing from Astral Authority. They are certainly a force to be reckoned with right now in the console scene for North America.
And at this point, I mean, we saw Wolves was the one I kept kind of wanting to point out because last game he had such a high impact, but this game not quite hitting it as much. We saw a couple of the other players got to shine bright through that one. Transonics, while he didn't have quite the same place he had overall, he was still able to make an impact, and we can actually see Wolves here doing his Wolves thing still. He's too low to really want to go in, but he's going to fight anyway.
All of these rotations were just so impactful from Wolves, and the knockups in particular were really what kept leading up to such devastating team fights for Elevate to try and handle when you're getting 3-man knocked out by the Chulainn and just set up so much for KhaoticPurpose.
And like I said at the end of that, the unsung hero coming through, he set up a lot for the rest of his team and ended up getting a lot of kills, so we can kind of just see what exactly he was able to pull out there. I mean, a lot of the ganks early on into the solo lane, a lot of the control they had going into it, and even at the end, being able to throw down that Fear No Evil and keep track of DoctorL even when they're at the last leg of their defense. Elevate just weren't able to handle this Batz.
You'd normally expect the Batz to play a little bit more passively as well, considering that he's not really considered as the greatest until he hits level 5, having that Fear No Evil online, but that was not the case. KhaoticPurpose just constantly kept ganking and aggressing onto that solo lane with Wolves, just no fear, jumping into a T1 tower and not even being worried about getting punished for it.
And this one was the big one. Right now, Wolves very low. KhaoticPurpose is the one that turns it around. He gets DoctorL, he turns around, he continues chasing and gets the kill onto Nexamiss. Wolves lived through this entire engagement, and that was part of the turning point to kind of give them such a huge lead.
One of the main things as well to consider is that those little plays and those little moments gotta feel pretty demoralizing in the moment, and you have to feel a little bit for Elevate, because I do really think that Astral Authority got away with murder in a lot of those scenarios where they probably should have been cleaned up.
Yeah, but with that, we can actually see how the rest of the day went along with that one. Finally get a full recap of what went on, as you just saw Astral getting the 2-0 and kind of breaking the pattern, as we saw split 2-0, now another 2-0. Obey, I think, was the big surprise of the day, along with Rival both taking a spill.
And that just goes to show the amount of development that a lot of these teams are putting in, and the practice is really starting to reflect into a lot of these teams' gameplay. It's incredible watching as they all begin to get a little bit better with every split.
Yeah, but with that, since it was the first week of EU, we can finally see where exactly they stand all together. And with it going up, Enix going to be up at the top. Kaz and Era following very shortly behind, but they both split. And it's only after one set for each of the teams, so when it comes down to it, they're looking to try and find their ways there, but getting that early lead for Enix is probably the big one.
That's a massive one, actually, because Europe doesn't have as much they don't have as much time as what North America has been allotted. Their split is a little bit shorter considering that they only have 4 teams, which is why they started now.
Yeah, but with that, we'll also get to see where exactly NA is standing up on this list. And as you can see, Strictly Business, Astral Authority, both still tied at the top. 3 wins, 3 sets, all of them going their way. Obey going to be in a surprise 3rd place. Then in memory of Michael, Soar, and of course down at the bottom, Elevate. Unfortunately, not able to find the wins they want.
Pretty rough time so far for Elevate, but either way, it just goes to show that all of these teams are really still looking to try and be strong contenders.
And with that, we would like to remind all the players out there who have been watching the broadcast that there are some 2x rewards here coming with the Odyssey, so you get double everything all weekend.
Not to mention, if you have a couple of boosters in your pocket already, I'd recommend using them because it really starts racking up, especially in those long Clash games.
Yeah.
Clash is by far the longest game mode of all time. I've never experienced 70-minute games until Clash came into my life.
And it's going to be one of those. But with that, if you also like maybe our voices or maybe the plays, if you've seen a lot of hot plays and you just want to see more, go ahead and buy some tickets to hi-rez Expo, hi-rezexpo.com. It is awesome. I have gone every single year. And this year I hope to be going again. Hopefully Hindu Man won't fire me before that happens. But as things have been going, it's one of the most fun times of the year.
Not to mention that you get a chance to meet some of your favorite pro players or maybe even a couple of casters. I know there's got to be some of you out there who actually like us, so it's always something to keep in mind.
Those like 3 people out there who just happen to really enjoy maybe F-Dot or coming in. Tolly, of course, is always going to be a fan favorite coming from the player side.
People just want to touch his hair, let's be honest.
Let's be real. The Apollo coming out. But with that, it's going to be it for the broadcast today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday when we come back with the SBL. If you're here for the Console League, we will be coming back next Monday. But with that, we'll be signing out now, and we will see you on the next broadcast.